time for Wake Up with Witcher. Here's meteorologist Mike Witcher from the East Tennessee Weather Center.
And good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hey, how about some rain finally making its presence known around East Tennessee, thanks to what was once potential tropical cyclone number 8. Not a thing with the National Hurricane Center anymore here this morning, but definitely bringing us some rain, which is great news to pass along. You see the radar on the top right-hand side of your screen. We do have some slow-going traffic right now. That's a live look there at Interstate 640 and Western Avenue. And so a little bit of a backup already this morning. You can see the roads are wet. So do give yourself a little extra time. Listen, we haven't had a lot of rainfall recently. And so when you don't get a lot of rain, the initial onset of rain, the roads can actually be a little on the slick side, especially if you don't have great tires on your cars, because the oil and the water just obviously don't mix. So as the kids head off to school, temperatures are in the 60s, but as they head home from school, we're going to have temps climbing into the low 70s. So really a nice afternoon. We're looking at below average weather expected throughout the day today. And then a little bit of a warming trend is on the way as a ridge of high pressure builds on in. And this low is not going to last all week long like we were talking about just a few days ago. It looked like it was going to kind of meander and wobble around the southeastern U.S., but doesn't necessarily look like that's going to be the case here anymore, which is great. All right, here we go. Let's talk about, that's a live look at the radar. Let me show you the almanac from yesterday. We actually had above average temperatures across the area yesterday in most locations. Now the clouds moved their way into Tri-Cities, so Tri-Cities only made it to 76, but Knoxville made it to 87 degrees, which is 4 degrees above average for this time of year. So definitely a little bit on the toastier side, but I guess we have to get used to that because that's going to be the story, I think, as we round out the month of September. Again, look at the radar here this morning. You can see that moisture being thrown in our direction over from North Carolina. And again, associated with that low, that's just going to kind of meander around the Appalachian region for maybe the next day and a half or so, and then start to kick its way on out of here. So I think we're going to have mostly cloudy skies for the next couple of days. By the way, temperatures this morning are trending about where we were yesterday, a degree or two cooler in some locations and a degree or two warmer in other locations, but that's it. Temperature-wise, we're currently in the 50s and 60s, so it feels pretty good outside. But again, the rain showers will slow some of you down as we get the day started. All right, a little bit of fog, but not necessarily a lot of fog to slow anybody down. I think it's just going to be the rain shower. So low pressure system's moving its way into the Carolinas. You can see how it's going to throw this moisture our direction. We pick up the timeline here at lunchtime. And as we continue through the afternoon, this moisture will just kind of wrap around this low pressure system. And so it's going to be spotty in nature. It's not going to be an all-day rain event. Not everyone's going to get the rainfall throughout the day. Spotty in nature. Some good solid downpours, though, so we have quite a bit of moisture in the atmosphere to work with, and so I think that's going to lead to some locally heavy rainfall. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but hopefully we're not going to have any flood threat associated with this. Just, we don't have enough rain that's going to be falling around the area. I mean, we could pick up nearly an inch of rain, maybe in some locations. This is the forecast model all the way through tonight. So basically, Knox County to the Tri-Cities area is going to be the best location for seeing some rain. I think further west and southwest, we're likely not to get as much. And maybe not a lot at all. Maybe not any at all. Closer to Chattanooga, Whitwell, Dunlap, the southern Cumberland Plateau, and the Southern Valley. Temperature trend today, we're going to stay on the cooler side. As we mentioned with your bus stop weather, we're going to top out in the 70s. So lunchtime temperatures will only be in the upper 60s. That's going to feel great. Dew points have climbed because this is tropical moisture that's moving its way on through. So dew points have come up, so it's going to feel a little bit muggier today, but it's not going to be hot. We're talking temperatures in the low, mid, and upper 70s, maybe some low 80s across the Southern Valley where we have a little bit more sunshine possible and also the lack of rainfall. So because we have the rain and the clouds hanging out with us, that's going to keep our temperatures a little bit more on the mild side. Into the evening hours we go. We may have a few spotty showers for the evening rush hour into dinner and bedtime tonight. But if you want to take a nice little after dinner walk, just check in with the interactive radar and the East Tennessee weather app. So you can see how this low is going to just kind of drift its way further to the south and southeast. And so again, while it is going to linger across the area, this takes us all the way through Wednesday. We'll begin to see improving weather conditions as the low shifts off to our east and northeast. And so that will increase our sunshine as well. So dew points actually are going to stay a little elevated for the next couple of days because of this tropical moisture. Low kicks its way on out. High pressure builds on in. We'll get a little bit of a northerly flow as that ridge of high pressure builds in from the west. and that will help to drop our dew points, giving us a northerly flow and that drier air from the north. So there's the low pressure system. Watch as this takes us all the way. I'm going to take you all the way through Sunday. So low moves its way on out of here. Here comes that ridge of high pressure off to our west. And see that northerly flow that's taking shape. So I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of activity. Now, we could see maybe Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of an elevated rain chance as we get some energy wrapping around that ridge of high pressure. So we'll keep you posted on that. But when you look at those rain chances, again, pretty lackluster Friday, Saturday. So maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday time frame. We'll see how it all plays out this week. But little pieces of energy around that ridge of high may help to increase the rain chances, which would be nice. Because when you look at our rain chances here over the next 7 days, most of it's going to be across the mid-Atlantic and Pennsylvania, whatnot. But I think here around home, this is from the Weather Prediction Center, so this is kind of broad brushing it. But the Southern Valley, you can see over the next 7 days, not much rainfall. Upper East Tennessee, we're going to get a little bit more. They're not painting as much across Upper East Tennessee, but I think we have a better chance of seeing a little bit more than that, which, of course, as I mentioned every single day, we desperately need it. We've barely had over a trace of rainfall for the month. Average rainfall for the month is 3.5 inches, and, well, we haven't had any yet, and it's already the 17th. By the way, can you believe it's the 17th? Like, where is this month? Where is time going, my friends? Just like this. All right, so as that ridge of high pressure comes in, you can see how the temperatures are going to reflect that. We'll be in the mid to upper 70s mid to upper 80s, I should say. So today's going to be the coolest day. Plus, we have the rain showers. And as we look ahead, not only are we going to be warming up through the rest of the week, your 6 to 10 and then 8 to 14 day outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, temperatures may be going up. So we'll see. All right, here we go. So again, track it with the East Tennessee Weather app, interactive radar, giving you past, current, and future radar. I know many of you already know that if you're on the platform, but a lot of folks may be joining us through the app this morning. And so if you've not used that, check it out. It's going to happen. Well, we haven't had to use it. We haven't had to use it much at all, but go ahead and check that out. All right, so let's go to the chat and say hi to everybody. Of course, we're going to be talking about your national holidays coming up here in just a few minutes. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything new for me to tell you that I learned. Went to the stockyards yesterday in Fort Worth, Texas. If you didn't see that on social media, on my stories. So never been to Fort Worth. And then the stockyards is like this big tourist trap. Some of you may know that, some of you may not. But it's cool. It's actually pretty cool. And I actually learned about 8 years ago, it was a total dump. Like they didn't care about it. It was run down and they revitalized it. And so there's lots of restaurants and whatnot. And they twice a day, I think it was like 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. or something like that. They take these giant, I'll show you. Oh, I might as well just show you a video. I think I've got a video of it. But they take these giant longhorns and those things, if you've not seen a longhorn in real life, those things are massive. Like they're walking around like this. And I felt bad because their heads just kept bobbling like this because like I'm sure the weight of those horns is just incredible. See if I can't get a video to share with you. I'll try to do that here. While I do this, let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Let's see. Hold on, give me a second. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to operate on this little tiny laptop. Okay, there we go. So, let's see if this works. I don't know if I'll be able to play it. I won't be able to play it, but those things are massive. Let's see. I got another one here. Let's see. Hold on. I thought I had a close-up of one. I guess I don't. Well, see if this shows it to you. I mean, just look how long those horns are. They're crazy long. So that was fun. Anyways, that was fun. That was in Fort Worth. And so, it's just, a little tradition. Everyone was out there taking videos and pictures. And they do it because I think he said, if I recall right, 150 years ago, they used to herd all the cattle through town I think he said something like that, like a sign of like, hey, listen, bye everybody, these cows. And it's like a procession because these cows were getting ready to go on a 500-mile trip to Kansas, And so they so it's tradition, right? And so they continue that tradition, although the cows obviously aren't going to Kansas anymore. We use technology in cars to ship those off, right? Let's see if I have any other photos to share with you. I don't really have that much. I mean, I didn't post a lot from the conference per se because, well, conferences are rather lackluster, boring, but not because I've learned a lot. And again, the conference starts back up here at 8:30 this morning. I'm going to be going to the morning sessions, and then we have to hit the road to head to the airport. I come back today. My kids were super excited. They're like, Dad, you come back today? I was like, yeah, buddy, I am. And it's picture day for my kids at school. So they looked really good. I already FaceTimed them this morning. And then that's why I was running a little bit behind this morning because time got away from me. All of a sudden I was like, oh no. So I said bye to the kids. Anyways. What's up, Dwayne? How are you this morning? He says, happy for a single drop of rain. Yes, hopefully you're excited about the rain. I know some of you already commented like, God, great, I got to go water my garden again because we're not getting any rain at all. What's up, Rick? How are you this morning? We got Landa joining us this morning. Good morning, rainy day at Dollywood. Yes, but some much needed rain at Dollywood, you know? We don't need to get into October. I mean, we're getting ready to get into fire season, right? I mean, we're already there, but really October is the big month for fire season here locally because it is the driest month of the year. And so with the lack of rain that we've had this year, fire season is going to be probably pretty interesting. So something to kind of keep in mind. And I know folks in Gatlinburg and Sevier County just really, for very good reason, get nervous every time we get into fire season. And so we don't need anything like what we saw. What was that, about 7 years ago or so? 8 years? No, it was longer than that, like 8 or 9 maybe. What's up, Jackie? How are you this morning? Yeah, it feels good, huh? Does it feel good? Tell me about it. It's warm and muggy here. I think we hit like 90, 99 yesterday or something like that. It was hot. Went to the pool for a little bit during the afternoon after we got back from Fort Worth. Well, good morning to you. How are you this morning? You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning on Wake Up with the Witcher. We've got Michelle Miller joining us as well. Michelle, good morning. Have a great day. I need more sleep. Why? What am I doing? Is my voice? That's what happens when you know what's funny? The thing is like we were talking last night at dinner time with the group of guys that I, more or less kind of hang out with. I was like, man, I'll tell you what. I don't laugh more than when I'm with you guys. Like we just don't stop laughing. Some of us hadn't seen each other for like 6 years. It's like, it just doesn't stop. Like you just pick right back up to where we were, 6 years ago. So it's, so, and then, we've been in loud environments and whatever. So you got to talk a little bit louder, but whatever. I'm trying to get some sleep, Buck. I got some decent sleep while I was here. I was the first one to go to bed every night. They're like, come on, Witcher, hang out with us. I was like, guys, I got to work. This is like vacation for you, which it used to be for me, like a guy's trip. And now, now I work all the time. It does. Nice. I love that, Kathy. Well played. Great song. Who sings that song? Buck, surely you know that, right? Surely you know that. Good morning, Renee. There you go. I knew you had it in you, Buck. I knew you had it in you. Love the Steve Miller Band. Saw them live one time back in Red Rocks back in high school. Great band. Easy, Buck. Krista says, how does it feel to be in my time zone? Are you here? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in Central Time. You're not unless you're here. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Oh, thanks, Kimberly. I know I said it yesterday, and some of you I see that we have some newbies on here this morning from what I was talking about yesterday. So for those of you that don't know and have not seen, yes, this is not my typical set. Obviously, this is a hotel room. So I'm in Irving, Texas for the National Weather Association's annual weather conference. I come about every other year. I've been coming for 20 years. 19 years. This was my 20-year anniversary of meeting some of my friends when we graduated from Mississippi State University. So I've officially been a meteorologist for 20 years, been forecasting for almost 25 years. But I was going somewhere with that. I don't know where I was going with that. Lost my train of thought. But anyways. Oh, where I am. Yeah, see, maybe I do need some more sleep, Buck. Anyway, so I've been at a conference since Friday. The conference is now it kind of goes into more like the broadcasters are like into today, basically. Now a bunch of the National Weather Service and other industries, meteorology fields across the country come in. And so the conference actually goes all the way through Thursday, I think it does. So they have a couple days with like the National Weather Service and they present and stuff like that. But first couple days are mostly for broadcasters. So I've never really hung out in Texas a whole lot. Been to South Padre, did that in college. But I've always driven through Dallas, never been to Dallas. Actually, I didn't even go to Dallas. We went to Fort Worth and we've been in Irving the entire time. So thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. Nope, Todd Howell is not here. He actually does not. So many of you may not know and may be wondering, but I'm going to show you something. When you see my name right there, see those symbols right there? So that one right there is the American Meteorological Society. So these are seals of. I've had to take tests and study a lot to get these to obtain these seals. Extra credentials, like other professions, they can add little extra credentials onto their names. That's essentially what that was. So the American Meteorological Society, I got that. Well, my first seal was the National Weather Association. And also, you're probably going to see a new one come in my way. So they're right there. They actually have a digital broadcast weather seal that I'm going to put right there. And once I get it, I've already applied for it, but then they were like, "Well, you already have the National Weather Association seal. You don't need that one." I go, "Yeah, but I'm doing all digital. I'm not just on linear TV anymore." So I'm fighting for that one because I want it. I like those designations, right? So I got the National Weather Associations back, I don't know, 2007 maybe, 2005, about 2005, probably about 2005. And then I got the American Meteorological Society seal in like 2006. And then I have the Certified Broadcast Meteorologist seal. So I've actually technically have 3 seals, but when you debut the AMS one, that is the 3rd one. And they're like, that's all you need. So technically, I'm working on my 4th seal of my 4th seal, I guess. So then you have to do continuing education, and the best and easiest way for continuing education is to come to these conferences. And so it's just always great to come here and see my friends. Anyways, maybe you didn't even know that I had those seals. So there you go. So I'm not just a meteorologist. I'm a certified broadcast meteorologist. We are very dry, Jerry. Yes, we are. Good morning, Brian. How are you this morning? We've got Margaret Daniel joining us this morning from Englewood. Hey, nice. Glad you could join us this morning. I don't think I've seen you on here before, or maybe you've joined me on other platforms, but not Wake Up with Witcher. We've got a bunch of newbies on here this morning. Ruth Smith, I don't remember seeing your name, or not very often if you've been on here, but you're very welcome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, 20 years. Can you believe that? It's weird that, and that's the weird thing too, is that's what we were talking. It's like, when we first started coming to this conference, we were like the young guys, right? We were like in our late 20s, early 30s. And now we're like the older ones. Now we're like the seniors here. And so all these other kids, a question that got asked during the conference yesterday, maybe you can answer this one. We can keep the chat going for a while if you want. One of the questions that was asked yesterday is, as broadcast meteorologists, are we doing it correctly? Are we doing it right? Are there things that we should be changing? What are we to? Because ultimately we are here for you, right? And so are we presenting the right information? And and so it was a discussion. So we broke out into a bunch of groups at our tables, and at my table I had a bunch of college kids. And so because there's a bunch of college kids that come to these conferences every year as well, and they present with poster boards and stuff like that, and the research that they're doing in college. Anyways, I asked some of these kids that to want to get into TV meteorology, broadcast meteorology, and I said, well, I'm going to ask you this question because I've been doing this now for almost 25 years. Are we doing this right? Are we presenting the right information? Are we telling enough story for you all to understand what the forecast is? And they were like, yeah, I think so. And I said, I disagree. I don't think we're doing it right. I think, I think that we don't need to be telling you current conditions. Like at the beginning of this broadcast, like I guess I'm a little different now, but in TV weather, unless there's impactful weather, do you even need to know current conditions? Do you need a map of current conditions? Likely the case, I think not. Hey, we're in the 60s. Great. Have a great day. Great. It's going to be beautiful weather for the next 3 or 4 days. No problem. We're going to be in the 70s and 80s. That's all you need to know. Oh, wait, hold on a second. What's our next storm system? What's our next impactful weather? And I think that's what you need to concentrate on because of cell phones and technology, we all have information to weather 24 hours a day, which is what we didn't have 20 years ago. We didn't have this kind of technology and information on our cell phones. So as we continue down the digital world and more information is being thrown at us, how do we change? Or do we need to change? I don't know. Food for thought. Let's see what you say in the chat here. I'll see. I'll get to the chat here in a second. But even though I don't have the music, guess what time it is, my friends? It is just about. If I get it. There it is. There it is. Let's see if I can get some music on for us. Well, how about some bluegrass music while we do this? There we go. Whoa, hey, that's loud. There you go. Dance, everybody. I try to emulate a little bit what I do at home. It's a little harder on this little tiny laptop. I posted a picture, by the way, on social media if you haven't seen that one. Anyways, it is National Voter Registration. Let's see. Let's go back to the top. It is National Professional House Cleaners Day. Yay! Anybody use a house cleaner? I've done it a couple times, and she was amazing. And she lives here in town, but, you get to a point where it's like, okay. I don't know if it's worth paying somebody to do it. Although, I don't know. We don't have one right now, but we tried it one time. Anyways, it's National Monte Cristo Day. Monte Cristos. Anybody like some Monte Cristos? I love Monte Cristos. National IT Professional Day. 3rd Tuesday in September. National Voter Registration Day. And it's National Apple Dumpling Day. Ooh, I do like apple dumplings. They're good. I like Monte Cristos. If it wasn't for the IT specialist like my brother-in-law, East Tennessee weather wouldn't be as far along as we currently are. So big shout out to him. It was his birthday, by the way, the other day. Big shout out to Jay Ashman, my brother-in-law. Oh man, I'll tell you. All right. That's all we had for national holidays. That's all we have this morning. Traffic is running slow, by the way. Just looked at the T-Dot cameras. It is running slow. So if you are getting ready to hit the road, maybe give yourself a little extra time. Good morning from Scott County, says Dina K. Good morning to you. Love Scott County. You sold high fidelity audio and video for almost 40 years. Love your job and never felt like work. That's true. I do love my job. Do you have a cold? No, just talking loud in loud places with all these people I've not seen for a long time. So kind of raise my voice. Typically, I don't know what it is, but my voice, if I go to a concert or something like that or an event and I yell a lot, my voice gets a little raspy for a couple days. But I've been getting sleep. All right. Got to run. Kat, have a great day. She's probably already gone by now. Tammy Heck says it's raining. Yay. Finally getting some much needed rain, huh? Welcome to all the noobs. You're going to love it here. What's up, Roseanne? Yeah, new digs, hotel room. I'm ready to get back to my own bed, though. Although, I never used to be a huge fan of like hotel rooms. Like, I don't like to spend a lot of money on hotels. It's like, okay, I'm just sleeping there. I'm not hanging out. If you're going on vacation and hanging out like at the beach, okay, yeah, maybe a nicer hotel room because you're going to be inside more, or condos or whatever. But my wife and I are always like, man, I don't need to spend a lot of money on a hotel room. Enough not to like, I don't want a gross hotel. But yeah. Thanks, Layla. I will tell you, I don't think you were on yesterday, but I was talking about it yesterday. How some of the meteorologists that are still coming to this to this conference that I've looked up to when I first got in the business, even though they're about the same age, they're a little bit older, but not much older. They I talked to them at the conference, at this conference, anyways, and they all said, Witcher, we are the entire broadcast meteorology field, and all my friends are watching what I'm doing every single day. They're like, we're watching, you're killing it, and you're doing it right. And they all said that. So coming from my peers, I said this yesterday, coming from my peers, and this just means so much, it means a lot. So for other people that have been in the business for as long as I have, or even longer, or even some of the young ones too. And that's what I said to the young ones when we were talking about, are we doing it right? I said, you're going to have to figure out how to do it as we continue with technology and down the road. And as we go fully into streaming and, and with the TikToks and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all this other thing. And I'm sure there's going to be another one down the road in their lifetime, in our lifetime, whatever. So as a newbie, how do you come in and can maybe interrupt and say, guys, I think you're doing it all wrong. Yeah, I grew up with TikTok and I grew up with social media. We did not. And so maybe they come in and change it and disrupt what we're doing and do it better. But I think East Tennessee weather is a disruption because we're all digital all the time. And linear TV, I mean, they said it at the conference multiple times. Linear TV, scheduled TV is dead. It's dead in the water. Nobody watches scheduled TV like we used to. Remember like a must-see on TV was like every Thursday night on NBC or something like that. And so we always sat down at nighttime and watch Friends and stuff like that when it came on. Or you had your special programs. My mom's was Dallas. Do you remember? Anybody remember the show Dallas from the old days? But it came on at a certain time. We sat down and watched it. Same with the news, which is great. But I think there's a better way, and that's where we are right now, East Tennessee weather. For crying out loud, I'm in Irving, Texas, broadcasting live right now on digital platforms. Right? So I think linear TV, they're missing the boat, and I think it's a dying industry. And so, and I think everybody at the conference, and every time I talk to broadcasters, they're like, yeah, it's they've got to pivot pretty quickly, or they're dead in the water as well. Like newspapers. Newspapers pivoted, now they're online. But anyways, I digress. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate you, bud. Barbara says, I think you're right. I want to know about the bad weather. So, and that's the other thing is like, because there's so many people that just go, okay, here are your current conditions and this is that. You don't need all that. Although I do all that because maybe it's nice, but I'm also different. But I also try to tell the weather story to give you an idea of the next storm. That's why I always look ahead with the big picture, the synoptic scale. And I try to build weather maps to look above and beyond. I try to show you upper level vorticity or 500 millibars. And I try to explain that to you, saying, hey, listen, the reason I'm showing you this is because this really shows the ridge of high pressure that's going to translate into hotter temperatures. So I really try to tell a story. Hopefully I do a good job at it, but we are broadcasters, so you're still having to tell a story. But do we need to start from like, this is what's happening now, it's 75 degrees? No, we probably don't. Hey, we're in the 70s. Have a great day. Whatever. I don't know. That's just that's my thought. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I practice. I don't 100% practice what I preach all the time either. So sometimes I have to check myself. Like, okay, wait. because sometimes I don't. You probably do it in your jobs too, but sometimes you just get to a point where you kind of get on autopilot, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I got to re-rack everything, I got to build everything again, and refresh my mind. That's why these conferences are great because it always comes back. I always come back refreshed, jazzed with new ideas, and new thoughts about maybe what I'm currently doing. Is it the right thing to do? Thanks, Kimberly. I appreciate you. Nice. Mike Tammy Woodall, maybe. I woke up this morning and thought I heard the water running in the house. Then I realized it's raining outside. Yeah, thank you, Lord is right. Got a lot of new ones on it. I'm seeing a lot of new folks on here this morning, so thank you. We do this Monday through Friday, by the way. Tomorrow morning I'll be back in the studio. Let's see. Raiden in Sneedville says Amy. Thanks, Amy. I appreciate that. We'll go back to the radar here in a second. Let's see. I'll get you back to the radar. Let's go back to this map. I might have to change a couple things, but let me change this to the T-Dot cameras. See if we still have a backup there. Yep. So we still got that slow going conditions. That's 640 and Western Avenue is where that is. I was going to show you the radar, but here I can do this. I'll go like this. Change. There it goes. There it is. So let's zoom into Knoxville, shall we? So now I got two radars going. How about that? So now I can zoom in with one radar and show you the big picture with the other radar. Not bad. Heaviest rain, actually. Look at that. Heaviest rain's moving its way. Let's see, towards Louisville. So Rockford, Louisville, Alcoa, Alcoa Highway. That's going to work its way into Friendsville here. Nice little batch of some heavier rainfall. Let's go to that T-Dot and see if we have any issues on Alcoa Highway this morning. And no, it doesn't look like we have any major issues. Let's see if we can get that camera up. There we go. This is basically where the big batch of rain is up. Look at that. A lot of standing water on the roads too this morning. So there you go. How about I do this? Anyways, so we'll leave that up for a second. While I look through the chat. Hey, Linda, you have an amazing day as well. Thanks, Edwin. I appreciate that. Deborah says, finally a little bit of rain here this morning. Saves me from watering today. Good. Run, I hear banjos. Let's see. Roseanne says, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're doing it right. I do need current conditions because I plan my day around it, especially errands. But you have a cell phone. So let me say this. I agree with showing current conditions, right? Especially when the weather is going to be a little bit more impactful. But maybe you don't need to. Some people talk current conditions and show every temperature on the map and talk about every city. Hey, Morristown, you're at 58. Hey, Crossville, you're at 45. Hey, Knoxville, you're at this. Could we just throw it on the map and say, hey, listen, we're in the 40s and 50s right now, but that's not the story. The story is actually later on today or tomorrow, big old snowstorm or big old rainstorm or whatever it may be, and just get right to the main story, which is going to be the impactful weather. And that's what I try to do. And again, not perfect every day, but that's the kind of stuff that, when you're not around meteorologists every day, when you get around them, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Now you can talk and converse and what's working with them, what's not working with them, what's working with me, what's not working with me. So anyways, so I'll be heading out of here sooner than later. I'm going to be heading out. I guess my flight's not until 2, but the conference does start in about an hour and a half and about 8 o'clock this morning. I'm also doing an interview with the president of the National Weather Association. So I'm going to put together a story, a piece that will be probably posted on social media. I'll share it with you, of course, on the broadcast once I get it done. Just kind of show you the highlights. And I'm going to be interviewing the National Weather Association's president and just talk about, I want him to explain what it means to him to have the National Weather Association and to have the broadcasters like me and my cohorts to attend conferences like this, and what are they doing as we progress through the future. Again, like I said yesterday, AI is going to be a big one. AI is going to be a big one. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to impact our weather. Not our weather, but how we forecast the weather, how we broadcast the weather, how we disseminate the weather information. Because the thing is weather is the one thing that we all have in common, right? It's the one thing that you can't escape. We may all perceive it differently, but we all have to deal with the weather every single day of our lives. So it's important to know about it. And that's why you're here with me this morning. Again, we do have those rain showers out there already this morning, so I'll send you back to that here just to get an idea of that. First on, actually, I don't. Just check it in with the East Tennessee Weather app, interactive radar. And remember, that's going to give you the current, past, and future radar of 2 hours. That might be a little loud. So check in with that. Daily forecast weather updates are updated as well. I'll make sure I have that all updated before I hit the road here for the day today. And really, to be honest, it's an 1.5-hour flight. It's super easy and super awesome. And so are you. Wake Up with Witcher back in Knoxville, East Tennessee, starting tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. I hope you join us for that live weather update. And thanks for joining me this morning. I'll see you tomorrow.